the Delusional Series, compiled according to the teachings of the Master. Author Fafu. The Delusional Series. Part 3. Attachment. Delusion alone is enough to make one's mind wander and waver. If it were merely a delusion, wandering and wavering, that would be tolerable. The problem is that when we add another factor called attachment, a deep-rooted habit, an unwillingness to let go, a subtle and hard-to-perceive consciousness, the situation becomes far more complex. And when one becomes deeply attached to their own delusions, believing that their delusions are the only truth and that others are wrong, then the innate wisdom of a Buddha is completely obscured. Why does one become so attached? Because one believes that what they say, think, and believe is absolutely right and that others must comply. This is a deeply ingrained pattern, and one insists that things must be this way and no other, even to the point of conflict. However, each individual has their own unique perspective, and even one's own perspective is constantly changing. So, what is one to do? One ends up fighting against oneself, with one's past beliefs conflicting with one's present ones. Delusions are defined and perceived by ourselves. Moreover, the definition of these delusions is constantly changing. As our thoughts change, so too do our definitions. Ultimately, it's all just delusion, with the added burden of attachment. Once we become attached, we strive relentlessly. Without attachment, it's merely delusion, and we can simply let it be. However, when we become attached, we can't stand to see things differently. Without attachment, we simply see things as they are and perhaps hold our own delusions. But once attachment sets in, we insist that things should be a certain way. No one truly understands anyone else, unless one has cultivated their mind to a certain degree. Even if one doesn't reach the level of a Buddha, with sufficient cultivation, one can begin to understand. That's why I can communicate with each of you to some extent, because I understand a little. Since you all neglect cultivation and misunderstand others, you are merely caught up in delusion and attachment. Delusion, when combined with attachment, leads to struggle and impulsiveness. It becomes too focused on one's own perceptions. The key is to recognize delusions as false, as unreal. If you can understand that they are nothing but destructive forces, corrupting all good things, then they will naturally dissipate. Sentient beings allow these illusory, insubstantial things to cause them to be confused and neurotic. The most serious problem is that they can ruin good things. It's all just a play, nothing to be taken seriously. It's a self-created drama. Nothing is truly real. Of course, you can create happiness in this drama, or you can create suffering. Following delusions inevitably leads to suffering everywhere and in the end. If you seek happiness, then follow wisdom, and you will certainly find peace and ease everywhere. All sentient beings' actions and thoughts are nothing but karma and sin. They are constantly causing harm and making mistakes. That's why I always advocate for the preservation of the original flavor of the Dharma. What is the original flavor of the Dharma? It is what it is, without adding our own delusions or the poisons of greed, hatred, delusion, arrogance, and doubt. Maintaining this original flavor is crucial. This allows you to be right even before you attain enlightenment. Normally, one can only be right after achieving success. However, if you maintain the original flavor of the Dharma, then you are right in that very moment. Everyone lives within their own delusions and attachments, creating the illusion of mutual understanding. While we may have a general grasp of each other's experiences, in reality, each of us has unique afflictions that blend with our individual perceptions. Your perception, fused with your afflictions, is different from mine. Therefore, it's impossible for you to fully comprehend everything I say. You may have a general understanding of my words, but the nuances and details remain unknown to you. Isn't it true that in this world, parents don't truly know their children and vice versa? Similarly, leaders don't fully understand their employees, and vice versa, even though they may appear to. If you examine things closely, you'll find flaws everywhere. That's why enlightened beings exhibit a vast and boundless mind, like empty space. They don't delve into the minutiae because doing so will only reveal differences that can lead to conflict. Therefore, there's no need to scrutinize or demand uniformity. Even the Buddha could only rely on divine powers to temporarily break through the karmic webs of sentient beings, allowing them a glimpse of the heavens. But once the Buddha's influence wanes, those karmic webs return.